Hello everyone, this is Tormuse, and I'm picking up where I left off in Doki Doki New Eyes. So yeah, last left off, yeah, going into day 3. I'm just gonna get right into it. Hi Tormuse! Yo, Sayuri, looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to being in the club, that's all. What she's saying sounds so genuine. Just can't believe her though. It's really weird. I can't really understand her. Why is this bothering me so much? I see. It's a pretty simple thing to get you in a good mood. Yeah, this is sort of interesting as a parallel to Sayuri's internal monologue in Rain Clouds. Not sure if that's intentional or not, but yeah. Although it might just be trying to tie into the fact that Yuri saw her outside of school and so on. Anyway, moving on. That's a pretty simple thing to get you in a good mood. I guess it's always a simple thing with you anyway. Speaking of which, I'm kind of hungry. Will you come with me to buy a snack? No thanks. But that's not like you at all. I swear I just heard Sayuri's voice shaking and something's not right here. I have my reasons. Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sayuri? Why that all of a sudden? I think I know where this is going. So Tormuse actually knows Sayuri really well. No reason really, I just wanted to look at it. I look up from my book to see Sayuri getting her purse. She opens it and she turns it upside down. 2 small coins fall out of it. I can't really blame her, I always end up buying too many books with my money. I get back to my reading and still half listening to them. I knew it. I can see right through you, Sayuri. That's not fair. How'd you even know? It's simple. If you had enough money in the first place, you would have brought a snack before coming to the club room. So either you're not hungry and wanted an excuse to take a walk, or you plan to conveniently forget that you spent all your money so that I would lend you some. But there's one more thing. You're always hungry. And so that only leaves the one option. Fairly impressive. His reasoning was really well thought out. Actually, it makes sense. That doesn't seem like the right expression for this bit. I give up. Don't make me feel guilty. If you feel guilty, that means you deserve to feel guilty. I'm thinking I slightly chuckle. Situation is so funny I can't control myself. This is a little embarrassing. I slowly look up from my book to stare at Tormuse. I wasn't listening or anything. It was just something in my book. Suddenly, Sayuri walks up to me and grabs my shoulders. Yuri! Tell Tormuse to let me borrow some money. What am I supposed to do now? Either I side with Sayuri and Tormuse will probably see me as a childish girl, or I side with him and I'll lose a chance to get closer to Sayuri? Don't get me involved like that, Sayuri. Besides, you should only buy what you can responsibly afford. And frankly, after pulling a mischievous little stunt like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. I suddenly close my book and I gasp. I didn't mean that. I got too absorbed in my book. Sayuri looks at me with a puzzled expression. Did I just sound really harsh? I could swear I saw her flinch for a second. I really like when you speak your mind, Yuri. Doesn't happen much, but it's a fun side of you. There's no way you could think that. After what I just said to her, Sayuri still compliments me. It makes me want to talk to her all the more. There's some interesting choices in the internal monologue here that were like there's an inherent contradiction in what Yuri's thinking with what she's saying. I mean, which I mean, it can be used as a gimmick at like in the sense of like, yeah, this is what she's saying, but here's what she's actually thinking. But I don't know. I don't know. Without wanting to sound too critical, I don't know if Sugadev has that level of self-awareness. It sort of feels like a mistake. I don't know. We'll move on and see where it goes. But this is a little embarrassing. I glance at Tormuse. He's gently smiling at me, most likely amused by Sayuri's words. You're right, though. I did something bad. Now I have to accept the revolution. I chuckle. I cough to hide my laughter. I don't want Sayuri to be hurt. She's hilarious. Retribution. That Still, coming from you, Sayuri, I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? Before I get the chance to keep teasing her, Tormes jumps in. Don't let her fool you. Sayuri knows exactly what she's doing. After all, she told you guys she was bringing me to the club before she even told me. But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes, so I had to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, give me more credit than that, Sayuri. In the corner of my eye, I noticed Natsuki slowly approaching us, 2 cookies in hand. Just what is she planning to do? Seems like her gaze is locked on Sayuri. Whap! Sorry, what? There's another line in there I missed. Wait, don't tell me she's going to throw. Okay. Whap. Yeah! I almost fall from my chair. A huge cookie just slaps Sayuri in the face, so this is what Natsuki's preparing. Again, you know, I understand that you want to make the story your own, Sukadev, but having all these extra lines just like, oh, Natsuki's preparing something. Oh, she threw the cookie. Oh, she that's what she was preparing. You know, like it seems redundant. You know, it's like in the original, it's just pwap, and then the cookie's there. You know, like it moves quicker than this. I don't know if Sukadev is even going to watch this. I don't even know if he's involved in the community, quite frankly. But yeah, maybe I'm being a dick by repeatedly bringing attention to this stuff, but it does make the mod drag a bit when it's so repetitive. Anyway, moving on. Turn my head to see her with a proud look on her face. I slowly shake my head, grinning at her. Oh, what was... A cookie? Sayuri soon loses focus of the cookie and looks around her, looking for the culprit. She dramatically puts her hands in front of her mouth. Is this a miracle? It's because I paid my restitution. Retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. I chuckle while looking at Tormes. He looks a bit embarrassed because of Sayuri's lack of memory. We stop looking at each other, at least he does. I can't bring myself to stop looking at his eyes. Such a deep yet vibrant color. Without warning, Natsuki walks up in front of me and pointed to Sayuri. Ha ha! I was just gonna give it to you. Then I heard you blab about the cupcakes. It was totally worth seeing your reaction though. Ha! Natsuki! That's so nice of you! I'm so happy! She tightly hugs the cookie, almost crushing it to 1,000 pieces. Somehow I feel like she's faking something. I can't pinpoint what it is, but something's definitely off. Or maybe I'm just overthinking because of what I saw this morning. That's probably it. I shake my head and I look at the comical scene taking place in front of me. Geez, just eat it. She tears the wrapper and takes a big bite out of it. She chews it for a while before swallowing it. Now I want to taste it too. So good. Oomph. She casts her hand over her mouth. I bit my tongue. Once again, I have trouble suppressing my laughter. How could you be so expressive and funny all the time? Teach her your secrets, Sayuri. Heh. Going through a lot over just one cookie. She takes another bite of her cookie. Weird, Natsuki usually brings me one? Oh, that's interesting. I was going to comment on the fact that Natsuki just randomly has cookies out of nowhere. Which, I mean, in the base game is suits fine, because MC doesn't really know her, so you don't know, you know. But in the context of this mod, where apparently Yuri and Natsuki are such close friends that they see each other every day before school and after school, kind of almost makes me wonder, like, when did you get the chance to buy the cookie? But now we're retconning in that she brings in cookies every day, apparently. Anyway, moving on. Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez, beggars can't be choosers. Suddenly looks at Natsuki with her puppy eyes. She takes a deep breath. She's going for the cute voice. But yours is chocolate. Without hesitation, Natsuki answers. She's strong. Resisting the puppy eyes isn't really an easy task. Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Fine. Still, I'm really happy that you shared this one with me. Sayuri goes behind Natsuki and wraps her arms around her. Meanwhile, Torres is still awkwardly standing there, staring at us with an amused look. Ah, jeez, I get it. Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayuri off her. However, she strikes too fast. She takes a bite of Natsuki's cookie. No, of course I was wrong. She wouldn't bother taking a bite of her cookie if she weren't hungry. Hey, did you seriously just do that? Sayuri runs away to a corner of the room, still chewing the cookie she mercilessly stole from Natsuki. Can't hold it in anymore. I burst out laughing with Tormuse. Natsuki's reaction is priceless. Sayuri's behaving just like a kid. This is just too good. Jeez, you're such a kid sometimes. Monica, can you tell Sayuri? She glances around the room. Now that I think about it, Monica still hasn't arrived. I'd totally forgotten about that. It seems like Natsuki did too. Where's Monica anyway? Good question. Have any of you heard anything about her being late today? Sayuri returns to her initial position next to Tormuse. She smiles at Natsuki, probably teasing her over the whole cookie shenanigan. Not me. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. Of course she's okay. She's probably just had something to do today. She's pretty popular after all. Suddenly Sayuri's expression transforms. It seems like she has come to a rather enlightening conclusion. You don't think she has a... Just as I expected from Sayuri. I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably more desirable than all of us combined. She's the most popular one out of us. Of course she'd be desirable. Make me a little sad, of course, not seeing our club president. But if that can make her happy, I guess I can forgive and forget about it. I look over to see Sayuri deep in thought. That's true. Natsuki looks like she doesn't agree. Maybe she's feeling a little jealous? Excuse me? Before we get the chance to tease her some more, the club door swings open. Monica emerges in the room with a panicked look on her face. Just what was she doing with that boyfriend of hers? Wait, this is merely Sayuri's theory, right? I silently laugh. This is why Sayuri's life is so fun. At least it seems fun. Sorry, I'm super sorry. Yeah, instantly, I'm get the definite feeling like stuff like this, life is so fun and so on, for the sake of dramatic irony, since the audience knows that Sayuri's actually depressed. Anyway, moving on. Oh, there you are. Sorry, I'm super sorry. Did you just say the same thing twice? Yep. I didn't mean to be late. Hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Sayuri approaches Monica with a curious look. Monica chose the club over her boyfriend after all. You're so strong-willed. Natsuki and I glance at each other. Of course she'd talk about it to Monica. She can't escape Sayuri's perfect theory. A boyfriend? What on earth are you talking about? She glances at Tormuse, who's clearly not understanding the situation. With an amused look, he shrugs. Never mind that. What held you up anyway? Well, my last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kind of just lost track of time. That makes no sense, though. We would have heard the bell ring at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano. Piano? I wasn't aware you played music as well, Monica. Impressive. How can she be so efficient? I barely have time to read. So maybe this was why she left us yesterday. There's no shame in showing others you play the piano, though. It's such a beautiful instrument. Who wouldn't admire a pianist? I don't really. I kind of just started recently. I've always wanted to learn piano. That's so cool. You should play something for us, Monica. That's the Tormuse. I guess it really is nerve-wracking to play an instrument in front of someone. Tormuse on top of that. Maybe once I get a little bit better, I will. Yay! That sounds cool. I also look forward to it. Is that so? In that case, I won't let you down, Tormuse. She grins at him. Monica's smile really is beautiful. Very good. Yuri's gay is showing again. Eureka confirmed. No, I'm joking. Or am I? Monica's smile really is beautiful. Maybe this is why Sayuri's immediately assumed she had a boyfriend. Love. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Don't worry. I've been practicing a whole lot recently, and I'd really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So I didn't miss anything, did I? Tormuse ponders for a few seconds. Like I ended up missing Sayuri's little extravaganza, but I suppose that's not really relevant right now. Well, it would have been better if she'd been here, though. In the end, he simply shrugs. Not really. Everyone gets back into their seats. I grab the book I left, and I open it to the last page I read. Somehow I have trouble concentrating. Tormuse is right next to me. Yeah, I was just going to say, I think at this point, hopefully we move away from the canned dialogue and get into new material. That was mostly a lot of retreading right there. This is stressful. Take a deep breath and I get back to my book. It's not long before Natsuki comes up to Tormuse. Not only did she stop hating him, but she's been getting closer to him. I feel a knot in my stomach. Maybe I should have a talk with Monika at some point. Glance at Tormuse and Natsuki. He's following her to the closet, presumably to find some more manga. Without warning, Natsuki turns around and yells at Monika. She really isn't herself when she's with Tormuse, huh? Yeah, this is, one of those things that I can see Sukadev is working his headcanon in that Natsuki isn't really, rude and angry all the time. She's only acting that way towards MC. This is sort of acknowledging that, well, actually she's kind of rude to Monika too, but no, it's just because MC is there. Anyway. I shake my head and I start reading again. Why am I feeling so uneasy? It's not quite like yesterday. Suddenly I feel my arm contract several times. I didn't even... How come it's acting funny? Stop this. I grab my arm with my right hand. I actually look around to see if anyone's watching. I close the book. My left arm is literally shaking. It's not pain, but I somehow believe it may be linked to what I'm feeling right now. Do I need to do it? Just a little to calm down? After all, Tormuse's presence is a little bit stress-inducing. Since he's spending time with Natsuki and Monika and Sayuri are talking to each other, so it's just me. I'm allowed to do it, right? Just a little. Without a second thought, I grab my bag and I head out. Close the door behind me. It's different music. Yeah, so presumably this is where she's going to go cut herself and Sayuri's going to walk in on her. To further tie it in with rain clouds again. Part of me wants to think this isn't a good idea, but in the end, it'll be a positive thing. It can help me calm down, and that's a good thing. Monika would agree, wouldn't she? Well, maybe the self-aware Monika would. She's always saying what matters is being at ease. This is definitely a way to feel at ease. Walk up the stairs and I stop at the top steps. I drop my bag and I grab the knife under my books. I remove the security lock? Interesting. I take a deep breath. This is fine. It'll be okay. It's my own life. It's my own choice. If I'm doing it on purpose, then it can't be bad. Yeah, these rationalizations, it just kind of... It makes me wonder about Sukadev's experience with self-harm. Like all the repeated rationalizations. I mean, it's kind of rationalization goes into any kind of addiction, I think. Anyway, without thinking, I start softly cutting my skin, just a little. Feeling all dizzy. So many cuts. They're not even deep, but do I really need to make that many? Is anyone there? Uttered a gasp. Is this Sayuri? Yuri? Is that you? Slowly walk down the stairs to see who's calling my name. Please don't tell me it's Sayuri. I see the top of her hair down the stairs. This isn't good. Definitely not good. It's me. Don't be scared. I shake the blood off my arms and then I stand in front of Sayuri. Yuri, are you alright? I'm shaking. Sayuri looks absolutely mortified. What have I done? I just wanted to feel better. Sayuri, oh my, oh, don't tell me you... You're the first thing I can think of, even if it means sounding like I'm weak. I can't let anyone know. This isn't anyone's business, it's mine. Sayuri, please don't tell anyone. Please, I beg you. She's looking at me with empty eyes. It's just, you have to understand, you know? It's not a bad thing. I'm doing it for myself. Please forget what you've seen. Please. The voice is gradually getting louder. It seems like Sayuri's not listening to me. She's lost in her thoughts. Sayuri? She steps back to reality and looks at me, still with the same horrified look. Yes, I won't tell anyone, Yuri. Don't worry. I stagger a little. I need to get back to the club room, away from here. I'll get going. Yuri, please don't. You have no right to talk about that, Sayuri. Sayuri looks heartbroken. I know I shouldn't have used what I've seen this morning as an argument. Did you? Okay. But it's too late now. I walk past her and I head to the club room. Why? Why did I talk to her like that? I didn't know what else to do. What if she has to live through the same thing? Have I been too harsh? Most likely. I open the door and I head into the club room. She just headed straight back to the club. Did she even take a moment to, like, clean herself up or anything? There's no reference to her doing that. Anyway, I hear the door close behind me as I head to the table. Monika's peacefully sitting at a table while Natsuki and Tormi's are still cheerfully talking. I glance at my arm again. No, I've been way too harsh with Sayuri. She'll feel bad because of me. I must apologize. This is the least I can do. I once again exit the room. This time Monika wasn't busy, so she may have noticed my absence. I hope I won't seem too suspicious. Now, where was Sayuri headed when she found me? The 3rd floor? No, that would be useless. There's nothing to see up there. Maybe she just wanted to breathe some fresh air? I turn left and I walk down the stairs. Now, where can she be? Sorry, what was that line that flashed on the screen there? Maybe if I had apologized earlier. Ow! I feel a sharp pain in my left arm. It seems like I just bumped into someone. Oh. That would be Hanako, right? Oops. Okay. Cameo from Kadawa Shoujo. Wearing a different uniform. What a weird person. Oh, I am so sorry. Sorry. The girl holds her hand out for me to grab. She helps me get back onto my feet. It's fine, don't worry. I feel really uneasy. I wasn't careful, I could have hurt her. She's smaller than me too. I take a few seconds to look at her. I can't help but look at the scar she's trying to hide on her face. I'm sorry, I think you dropped your book. I look down. Indeed, it's on the floor. It must have fallen from my bag. I pick it up. Excuse me. Yes? Do you actually like reading? Pardon the question, it's just I like reading too. And your book looks... Her voice is barely audible. As weird as she seems, I feel sympathy for her. Maybe even empathy. She reminds me of myself a little. Indeed, I love reading. I started this book recently. Have you ever read it? Yes. I read the entire series. Her eyes light up with excitement. She's definitely like me. What were the odds? People from my class don't usually talk to me like that. As I look at her some more, I notice her uniform isn't quite the same as ours. Uh-huh. If you don't mind me asking, what are you doing here? It seems like you're not from our school, is that right? No, I'm on a temporary cultural trip. I was looking for a friend, actually. Do you know someone named Hisao? Have you seen a boy with a different uniform recently? It's a protagonist from Kadawa Shoujo. Well, not really. Don't remember seeing anyone. The girl sighs. Thanks anyway. We both stand there awkwardly for about 10 seconds or so. Suddenly she mumbles something. Pardon? I'm sorry if that sounds a bit stupid, but what's your name? Oh, that's fine, really. My name's Yuri. And what's your name? She looks genuinely happy that I told her my name. It's Hanako. What a beautiful name. Glad to meet you, Hanako. Glad to meet you, Yuri. She keeps glancing at my book. I get the feeling that she wants to discuss it. I feel really embarrassed, but Hanako looks like a shy and calm person. Someone I could get along with. Do you want to discuss it a little? I have a bit of time, and since you've read this book, maybe you'd like to talk about it. Or, I don't know. Yes, please, if you don't mind. Of course not. Shall we head out a bit? Sure. This is so random. Like, I heard rumors that there was a crossover from Kataba Shoujo in here, but it's just kind of right out of nowhere. I thought it was like an Easter egg kind of thing. Okay. I mean, I haven't. To be honest, I haven't played very far into Kataba Shoujo. I just know that Hanako is a very shy character who gets compared to Yuri a lot. Though she seems reasonably outgoing in here, she's just immediately talking to a stranger and anyway, moving on. We both go out of the hall and we sit on the bench. Yuri? I'm sorry, but why are there cuts in your arms? Softly forward. Why are there scars on your... Never mind. Again, I haven't played very far into it, but from what I've seen, Hanako's being very out of character here, but whatever. It's a mod, who cares? Moving on. You're bleeding a little. Of course, that would be a heartbeat sound effect. Of course, I wasn't careful enough when I grabbed the book. Hanako doesn't look as panicked as Sayuri was, though. I didn't want to ask about it. I can understand. I'd only like to say that... She takes a deep breath. She looks a little nervous. Well, who wouldn't be in this situation? In school I come from, there are a lot of people who have problems. And these people, they'd like to be normal. Like you. Me too. So, whatever's making you do this isn't worth losing what you have. Your skin is a beautiful, pale texture. Don't waste this. Sorry, tech suture. Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't waste this. That's all. I'm sorry, maybe this isn't my business. Sorry. I gently shake my head. No, I understand what you mean. I totally understand. I don't feel so good. I should be more careful. 2 cases in less than an hour, and at this rate someone will find out. At this rate someone will find out after 2 people found out? Okay. I'm going to have to go back to my club room, Hanako. I'm sorry about this. Maybe we can talk another time. Actually, I was looking for Hisao because we're heading back to our school, so... Until we meet again, Yuri. Oh, is that so? I hope we'll meet again, Hanako. Thank you for what you said. I think I understand what you meant. I'm glad. Goodbye, Yuri. She shyly waves at me and she turns around. I enter the building. What a weird encounter. Yeah, you said it, Yuri. But what she said, what kind of school does she go to? Most importantly, how could I show my weakness so easily? But she's not wrong. I'm just permanently hurting my body for my own enjoyment. Although, isn't life about enjoying things? This is bothering me too much. Why would such a random encounter happen at such a time? I should be spending time with the others. Maybe Monika's worrying about me. Maybe she came looking for me. Quickly climb up the stairs to the club room. Before I even walk up the last step, I hear a voice in front of me. So how was it? I don't know what voice to use. So how was it? I quickly look up to see Monika staring at me. Oh. Sorry. How was it? You were talking to a girl, is that right? So Monika was wondering where I was. Oh, I just bumped into her, nothing more. We talked for a few minutes. How do you know that? I haven't seen you when we were talking. Oh, that. It's just... I was testing a little new character files, importing data. I was just trying something. What? Monika, it makes no sense. Do you believe in supernatural things, Yuri? Sometimes, yes, but why are you asking these questions? You're being scary, Monika. I can't quite understand what she wants to say. I just want to go back to the club room. I tried walking past her, but she doesn't let me. What if I told you you're not real? Excuse me? What if I told you this isn't reality? This is merely a predetermined world created by a superior entity. Would you believe me? I laugh a little. How am I supposed to react? Monica, are you alright? What do you mean you were testing a little? Monica wasn't real. How do you know her name? What do you mean, Monica? This situation makes no sense. She heavily sighs. Of course. I should have expected this. Expected what? You were worrying me. Did anything happen in the club room? Sorry, Yuri. Reloading script, reloading game? What? So I thought something flashed on the screen. Sorry about what? Okay. My back hurts. Just what? I quizzically look around me, trying to understand the reason for my presence here. Did I really fall asleep on the stairs? So I lift my sleeve. The cuts are still there. I don't remember. I think I passed out shortly after Sayuri found me. Couldn't even apologize to her in the end. I feel like I'm omitting something. I know something's wrong, but I can't seem to find out what it is. I struggle to get back onto my feet. My legs are asleep. Just how long have I stayed in this position? I check the time on my phone. Maybe Sayuri's already back at the club? I walk down the rest of the stairs and I head for the club room. Before entering the room, I peek inside. It seems like Natsuki and Tormuse are still having their chat. Monika's waiting at a table, just like earlier. However, Sayuri's still not here. I'd like to go and find her, but I believe this wouldn't be such a great idea. If I end up bothering her, like she did with me, no, I'll just wait for her here. Enter the room without making noise. This time, Monika immediately notices me. She waits for me to sit at the table across from her. Where were you, Yuri? I've been searching for you, but I couldn't find you. Oh, I was out to breathe a little. Oh, is that so? Still feeling a little jealous? She says this last sentence with a little grin on her face, clearly teasing me. I don't think the feeling I've had was jealousy this time, though. That must be it, I guess. I see. Well, if you need anything, come see me. I'm just waiting for Sayuri to come back before we start sharing poems. By the way, she leans in closer and whispers, please refrain from sharing your poems with Sayuri. That's curious. Seems like an odd thing for her to say, but I guess that's Sukadeva trying to keep things lined up with Rain Cloud, since Sai didn't share poems in that for some reason. I mean, the meta reason, as far as I can tell, the reason that Sai doesn't share any poems is because Sukadeva, I don't know, didn't want to write the reaction, people's reaction to Sai's poems or whatever. And he only put in the interactions with MC. Again, this is trying to tie everything to Rain Clouds. Sukadeva's trying, kind of writing himself into a corner repeatedly, and having to find ways to make it fit. But I don't know, we'll see where it goes. I suspect she's really not confident about hers, and it probably makes her feel bad. So please, I take a few seconds to absorb about Monika's words. In a normal situation, I would have believed that sharing poems could be a good way for her to express herself, but Monika tells me it isn't a good idea. On top of that, what I've seen this morning was definitely real. Judging by the hurt look on her face earlier today at the river, it's clear that the wound she had was done to herself. I sigh. I totally understand. I'm counting on you to make her feel more at ease then. Of course. As a club president, it's my duty to take care of such issues. I'll stop bothering you. Feel free to get back to your reading. She gets up from her seat and leaves me alone at the table. Can't help but worry about Sayuri. It seems like I'm not all alone thinking about her. I'm sure Monika will take care of her in a proper manner. I shake my head and I grab my book in my bag. Huh? I notice a few bloodstains on the cover. The book looks a little worn. Did it fall somewhere? Don't recall reading my book while I was out there. Or did I? Can't remember much. I guess I should think about sleeping in my bed someday. Is that trying to imply that she tripped blood on the book during a conversation with Hanako, but she doesn't remember it? I think that's what you're going for here. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I'd probably sleep a little better. I open my book again and I start eagerly reading the passage I had to stop at before leaving the room. That's a very long way of saying I resume reading. Anyway, the club door opens. Sayuri enters, in her arms a cardboard box. Oh, so that's where she went. She was probably looking for supplies. For the festival, maybe? Monica immediately greets her. They talk for a little while, and Sayuri chuckles a few times. She hands Monica the cardboard box. As she does so, I notice how she tries to keep her arm bent. Does it hurt? Or maybe she's just trying to hide it as much as possible? I notice her glancing at Tormuse. I do the same. Looks like he's done talking to Natsuki. She has a satisfied look on her face as she watches Tormuse put a book in his bag. She probably lent him another manga. Before Sayuri gets the chance to sit down, Monica coughs and raises her voice to get her attention, and I close my book and I put it back in my bag. Okay, everyone, are you ready to share your poems? I shiver as soon as I hear her last sentence. I'm going to have to share the poem I wrote this morning. Are we at least going to have... Is Yuri at least going to share a poem with Natsuki and Monica, at least? I hope. You know, get some new material in here. Let's see. If someone really understands what I meant in it, Monica would be able to understand the meaning behind it. What would she think? And what if Natsuki understands? She'll definitely judge my little hobby. That's how she is about these things. I grabbed the poem I wrote in my bag and I lay it on the table. Without even looking at him, I know where Tormuse is headed. Natsuki's already expectantly looking at him, waiting to share a poem. Sayuri is once again next to them, listening while pretending she's not there. I kind of understand why she'd want to stay near Tormuse. Yuri? Huh? I turn my head left. Monika's sitting next to me, staring at me with a funny expression. I've been calling you a few times, but you haven't answered. Too busy looking at the little lovebirds. I quizzically look at Monica. Lovebirds? I'm just kidding, Yuri. Don't worry. These two sure are growing close, don't you think? I nervously tap the table with my index finger. Indeed. You don't sound too convinced, though. Did you finally make up with Natsuki yesterday? Oh, of course we did. She almost stayed at my house, too. Oh, really? She couldn't stay? What? Sorry, there's the line skipped over again. That's great. How did she... Actually, she couldn't stay. It's complicated, but she was most likely grounded by her father. He called her while she was at my place. Molly's expression suddenly darkens. Oh. You mean her father wasn't aware that she was at your place? Exactly. You said she'd call him a little later. You should avoid doing that. It's not my business, but, just avoid it. What? I'm sure I completely understand what Monica's saying. Her expression clearly shows that she's worried about something, though. What? Yes, of course. I don't think she'd like to come back to my place anyway. We haven't really talked much this morning. She shrugs. Don't bother. There may be circumstances that make this situation a little delicate for her. Just make sure you support her with, well, everything. She chuckles a little. Including how close she's getting to our new member. My heart sinks as soon as I hear her mention this. Of course I'll support her. It probably means I won't be able to get closer to him, but it means Natsuki can be happy, and most importantly, if it means I can still be friends with her, it's a small price to pay. I promise I'll take care of Natsuki. Good. Not that I had doubts in the first place, though. You're always so responsible, Yuri. I'm not too sure if that's true. Maybe you don't see it, but I do. You're always down to earth, calm, and thoughtful. She looks behind her. It looks like Natsuki's raising her voice. She suddenly darts out of the room, clutching her stomach. Seems like something's happened. Trying to think what that's about. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, this is this is the bit where Natsuki runs out of the room and Monica goes to talk to MC, right? Yeah. I'm just a little baffled. I was waiting to see if the dialogue explains it a bit better, but like, she's grounded by her father. Called her she knows where. You should avoid doing that. It's not my business, but you know, just avoid what? I'm confused. Like, I don't understand this exchange here. And then Yuri says, I completely understand. And I'm like, no, I don't understand. What do you mean? This sequence of dialogue doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you know, again, it's not just that they're acting out of character. There have been a number of moments where something just feels a little off. Like people aren't acting like people, or they don't act logically. Like that wasn't a logical progression of dialogue there. It's like. I think I've said this in one of my previous videos. Like, I remember my younger brother, when we were growing up, he would, from time to time, tell stories in which he would leave out a detail, but continue the story as if he said that detail, and then the whole story became incoherent. And I helped him deal. Like I talked to him about that, and he told me later on, many years later, that he credited me as being the one who helped him get better at storytelling. And this kind of feels like that kind of circumstance. Like I feel like Sukadev intended to say something and then didn't say it, and then the dialogue continued as if he said it, because there's just a weird progression in the dialogue which makes it kind of incoherent, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about here, and Yuri reacts as if it makes sense. So I didn't comment on it before. This has happened a few times in this mod so far. So I felt like I should call it out on that. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Seems like something happened. I'll share my poem with you a little later, Yuri. She goes towards Tormuse, probably to ask him what was wrong with Natsuki. I can't help but look at the exit. Judging by the way she was clutching her stomach, she was headed to the bathroom. That's okay. I get up from my seat. Oh, you're gonna talk to Natsuki now? Everyone's busy with the current situation, so they won't notice me leaving the room. I can't leave Natsuki alone like that. I swore I'd support her. Before I even get to the bathroom, I hear Natsuki coughing. Ooh, you're some not serious interaction. I mean, any opportunity to add something new to the story. Sounds like she really doesn't feel good. I enter the bathroom after knocking on the door. Natsuki? Feels weird. Just yesterday, Natsuki was the one entering this room looking for me. I guess this is how I pay her back. Here's some more coughing coming from one of the stalls. The door is locked. I knocked on it a few times. Natsuki, are you alright? Leave me alone, Yuri. Those words hurt me more than they should have. Natsuki would never talk to me like this. Moreover, in such a context. I can understand if something went wrong, Natsuki. You were there for me yesterday, right? I nervously laugh. And you're supposed to be my role model too, remember? Natsuki doesn't laugh. I hear her sigh on the other side of the door. I don't think I should be a role model anymore. What? Why? How? Why would Natsuki say something like that? No. Is it because of Tormuse? Did he do something wrong? Or is it my fault? I'm sorry, was I too clingy, annoying? Stop it, Yuri. Let's just talk later, alright? Her senses. There's another something else flashed on the screen there. As of now, I don't feel too. Her senses interrupted by her sudden coughing. This really doesn't sound good, but what am I supposed to do in this situation? Oh. Interesting. There's a choice. Alright, let's reason this out. Um, options are show her I'm here for her or try to understand the problem. Can't you do both? I mean, I would lean towards show her I'm here for her, I think. I mean, okay. Like, okay, the reason I'm saying that is because try to understand the problem is probably a no-go because, I mean, okay, at least in the context of Ken and Natsuki, who is not necessarily forthcoming about how she feels. She's, you know, canonically she writes so she can say things that she can't say. Like she expressed that in the original DLC. Sukadev's version of Natsuki is different though. She has demonstrated herself to be very forthcoming about how she feels repeatedly. At least to Yuri anyway. So, I mean, with that interpretation of the character, then maybe try to understand the problem is the better choice. But yeah, I don't know. Natsuki just told her, who just told her to leave, and that makes me think, maybe Sure Giver isn't necessarily the best choice. This sort of feels like it feels like doing a test in school. Back when I was in school, like in that I know which one's the correct answer, but sometimes giving the correct answer isn't good enough. You need to give the answer that the teacher wants, and sometimes those aren't the same thing. Annoyingly, so like I would think show her I'm here for her would be the correct thing to do. Like say, okay, you don't want to talk to me now, but I want you to know that I'm here for you. That kind of deal. But I kind of get the feeling that Sukadev wants to try to understand the problem option. I mean, either one could work, really. I don't know. Should I go with what I would do, or should I go with what I think Sukadev would want? You know what? I'm gonna be true to myself and say, sure, I'm here for her. Let's go. I don't care if Natsuki doesn't want to be my role model anymore. Even if it was merely a joke, I'll be her role model. Oh, okay. Doesn't matter what she's feeling. I'm supposed to be a friend, right? I sit on the other side of the stall, resting my head on the door. Natsuki, I can't even remember how long ago we met. But I can remember, though, is that you've always been there for me. So, let me be there for you. I know I'm not really the best type of person there is. I'm always spacing out. I'm always doing everything wrong. But every time something goes wrong, you're always there for me. So, please, don't just forget about me. Under the circumstances, even if it's about Tormi's outside with you. I can hear Natsuki sobbing behind the door. What is she feeling? She was so cheerful earlier. What makes you think I'd forget you? I never said I would. But you can't understand. I can't tell you. Let's just forget it, okay? I'll be back later. Just wait for me in the club room. She's slowly breathing. If only I could do more. Alright. Hang in there, Natsuki. I get up and I head out of the bathroom. Close the door behind me. Natsuki isn't coughing anymore. It seems like she's feeling a little better. I sigh with relief. At least she wasn't sick or something. She's just feeling a little tired. That must be it. Oh, okay, sure. Enter the club room. That was a sweet little interaction. I need to pause the recording for a moment so I can get some more water. Moving right along. Monica's still talking to Tormuse, but she has a poem in her hand. I glance at it. The writing suggests it's Tormuse's. As I sit down at the table, I see the club door open. Natsuki quietly enters, looking a little better than she was when she left. Her hair is wet. She probably washed her face. Still, I don't really know what caused her so much trouble. She waits a little behind Monika before suddenly joining the conversation. She grabs the poem from Monika's hands. She didn't want her to read it. Now that makes me even more curious. Guess I'll have the occasion to see what it's about in a moment. At some point, Saori jerks her head up. It looks like she wants to be part of the discussion, but she refrains from doing so. I remember what Monika told me. She's probably not too confident, so I won't force her. If I talk to her, she'll probably take it as some kind of pressure. Everything's always so conflicted in my head. Monika turns around and leaves the little group to sit next to me once again. She sighs. Have you noticed something different about Natsuki lately? Is she talking to me? Miss Fuchs and Tormies. He's eagerly reading her poem. It looks like he's really enjoying it. So? Oh, yes, well, Natsuki's always been a little like that. Like that? What do you mean? Whenever something's on her mind, her behavior changes a little, though I don't recall seeing her as troubled as she is today, honestly. It's a little strange. And that's right. Just now we were talking about her poem with Tormies. As soon as she came back, she took it from me and she wouldn't give it back. She didn't want to give it back? How odd. She'd usually act slightly different in this case, but she's never acted this differently. Indeed. I've tried to convince her to give it back, but she liked the poem too much. In fact, I suspect that this poem was written specifically for her. Wait, as in, Tormies wrote it for her? Exactly. We've talked about it, but he seems really uneasy. It wouldn't surprise me if he were trying to impress her. Natsuki's reaction is probably linked to it, too. I think her little baker is in love. My heart sinks once more. In love. Love must be such a wonderful thing. Does it really have to change people? If it's what Natsuki's feeling, even love? It's too hard to understand. I just can't understand love. Don't be ridiculous, Monika. They've only known each other for a few days. Don't you think love can happen really quickly? It's so weird that Monika's expression is not changing at all through all this. A few days is more than enough to like someone. I think you know that, considering what? Indeed, I've been wanting to grow closer to Tormies, but does that mean... Well, yesterday you've had quite a big fight with Natsuki, and you turned to Tormies when you needed help, if I recall correctly. Aren't you feeling a little something too? No. Well, no, of course not. I think I'm blushing. No, a few days definitely isn't enough to like someone. Definitely. And, after all, since he and Natsuki look so good together, I'd have no right to feel this way. Do you think people aren't allowed to feel? You're free to feel whatever you want, Yuri. You just have to be careful not to let it change you. Just like what Natsuki's doing right now. Oh, I understand. I'm Natsuki's friend, so it's my duty to help her. Exactly. Anyway, what are we doing here? Aren't we supposed to be sharing poems? Oh, right, poems. This talk was so interesting, I actually forgot the initial purpose of our discussion. I take the poem I left on the table and I hand to Monika. I wrote something a little more elaborate than yesterday. Feel free to give me your feedback. She takes the poem into her hands and reads it. Feels like an eternity before she finishes it. She stops looking at the poem and stares at me. You're right, this is kind of different compared to yesterday's. It's really troubling. This time I can't seem to find the correct meaning behind it unless it's something really dark. I open my mouth to talk, but I can't find anything to say. I stand there for a few seconds trying to come up with a cohesive response. It's just, well, I can see it in my head, but it'd be too hard to put into words. Did you at least enjoy the poem? Oh yes, of course. You really have a certain talent with words, Yuri. Your poems are mesmerizing. As soon as I started reading it, I couldn't stop. You have a fascinating method of writing. Well, thank you, Monika. I spent a long time establishing my writing style, so hearing that from you really is heartwarming. Keep up the good work. She reaches into her bag to grab her poem, but she quickly notices that Tormies is done chatting with Natsuki. Oh, I think he's going to show you his poem. I'll be right back after that. Go enjoy your time with him. Okay. Indeed, Tormies is walking towards me. I clench my poem a little more as he approaches. There's no reason to be nervous. I end up staring into his eyes again. Let's see what you've written for today. He flashes me a bright smile and he hands me his poem. I smile back. My stomach feels weird. Monica, what are you doing putting such thoughts into my head? I look at the poem. Like a public playground poof. So these are Natsuki words now, right? Once again, the structure feels a little off. However, the style is clearly a little different. It's a bit better. The words blend in with each other, and the idea he wants to convey is clear. Obviously, he had an image in mind while writing it. Monica's right. This is directed at Natsuki. This is pretty good, Tormuse. Were you influenced by seeing everyone's writing styles yesterday? I guess you could say that. I have no doubts anymore. He was definitely influenced by Natsuki. I can see the same type of syntax as she uses in his poem, simplicity and efficiency. I was also a bit surprised by how differently everyone writes, so I respect you for trying new things. You don't need to be afraid to be a little more daring. Metaphors can go a long way. Don't feel like you need to work your brain like turning a bunch of gears. Just like I did this morning, I think writing needs to be spontaneous. Okay. Pre-scheduling poem writing isn't right. This is why I don't like preparing poems for such activities. I'd love to see how complex Tormuse's poems can get. Try letting your mind wander through your feelings and writing down the things you see and hear. That's one way to truly enable your reader to see into your mind. It's a very intimate exercise. He's merely smiling at me, but I think I lost Tormuse when I tried to explain that he can wander through his feelings. I don't mind, though. He's particularly cute like that. Just what am I thinking? I see. That's a certainly interesting technique. Thanks for sharing. I shyly hold up my poem. Now is the moment to see what he'll think of it. That's not that weird, is it? I have, well, an example of that if you'd like to read it, of course. Is this the poem you wrote for today? I silently nod, waiting for him to start reading. He gently takes the poem from my hands. His movements are so graceful. He starts reading. Once again, he's taking his time. Tormuse is not saying anything. Am I supposed to talk now? What if I bother him while he's reading? I know how frustrating it is to be bothered. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. I guess this is the best I could come up with. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I can't help but smile to myself. It looks like he did understand the point of my poem. It does? Because he says metaphorical? Only 2 days in, and he's already starting to understand poems a little more. Impressive. That's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style, using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. No, I'm not too sure. Does he understand it or not? You're not supposed to ignore the face value of the poem. It's a part of it, too. Writing is a combination of abstract and concrete concepts. However, he seemingly hasn't understood the real meaning of the poem. What a relief. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels to me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. It's those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself. So I sometimes enjoy writing about them. Excuse me. My voice is barely audible by the end of my sentence. I look down. I may have said a tad too much. Tormuse was staring at me with such a look. I just got lost in my train of thoughts again. I slowly look up at him and to see him grinning at me. Huh, that's funny. That wasn't the reaction I was expecting. No, not that it bothers me, but I don't find this amusing. Didn't Natsuki also write something about that? About someone being ridiculed for a strange interest? Yeah? She did? Yeah. She was talking about how it doesn't matter what you're into as long as you're not hurting anybody. She's right. Natsuki, of all people, I wouldn't have expected her to think this way. Wouldn't have expected her to think this way? Why not? I'm a bit confused. Okay. She may be my best friend, but I know her well. I thought she'd despise my kind of hobby. I mean, does she really feel that way? Yeah. Sounds like you two have that in common. That's interesting. To me, she seemed like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Yeah, you see, Zugadev, this is stuff like this is where your new headcanon of Natsuki doesn't line up with the original dialogue. Like, we just, a couple of videos ago, we had a scene where Natsuki came to Yuri's house and expressed her, fascination and delight at seeing the knife collection and so on. So this doesn't fit anymore, because Natsuki's already shown that she appreciates Yuri's hobbies despite the fact that they're different, So this just does, so this just doesn't line up anymore. Oh well. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? I suddenly gasped. Please don't tell her I said that. I spoke my mind. Whenever he's around, I'm having a hard time separating my words from my thoughts. Don't worry, I have no reason to. I sigh with relief. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me. He nods and he gives me my poem back. Turns around and he goes towards Sayori, who's now smiling at him. In a few seconds, Monika's already next to me, ready to share her poem. We're ready to give me your opinion? Oh, sure. You look really excited about this, Monika. I know you give me honest feedback. I really like it when you tell me what you think. Oh, is that so? I'll gladly read it then. Monika smiles and hands me her poem. I grab it and I read it, making sure not to wrinkle Monika's beautiful sheet of paper. And yeah, it's the second. What's the second poem called again? It's Hole involves the first one. The second one, I guess, is whatever. Anyway, this is basically, yeah, this is the canon second poem. So moving on. Wow. I just stand there looking at her poem for a solid minute. Even more impressive than the one I read yesterday. The words mix to create a perfect rhythm, and even though the meaning of the poem is indeed a little blurry, I can feel something. This poem makes me feel something. It doesn't happen often, but this is truly incredible. I look at Monika and I flash her a big smile. You're awfully good, Monika. I really can't find any flaws in your poem. I think I like it more than mine, to be honest. No, I don't think it's any better. Having read yours, I can guarantee you mine is nothing next to it. However, it's really flattering to hear you complimenting my poem. What did you particularly like about it? I ponder for a few seconds, trying to put my thoughts into words. There are many striking elements that can be considered as good, but there were two specific factors that made me like it. First, the metaphors you use at the end. I really enjoyed them. They're easy to picture, yet they convey so much more than their apparent simplicity. Second, the rhythm. Just like the one you wrote yesterday, I was so into it. It's like the words followed each other perfectly, if that makes any sense. It's good, really good. Do you seriously believe that? Of course. I wouldn't lie about these things. I didn't expect it to be that good, quite honestly, so thank you. It's no big deal. Thank you for showing it to me. I hand her the poem. Just as I do so, Natsuki comes next to us, poem in hand. Hey now, sharing poems without me? Not cool. The three of us laugh. Of course, we wouldn't forget about you. Show us your poem then. She proudly raises it in the air and she hands it to me. Monika looks over my shoulder, trying to read it at the same time. This will be the Amy Likes Spiders poem, right? Yeah. Trying to fit it all on one page. There had to have been a better solution than that, Zugadev. Because it's like teeny weeny writing, like, I have to squint to see it. Oh well, it's Canva, I'm just going to skip over that. Her poem is considerably longer than the one she wrote yesterday, and it's much more complex. It's hard to describe. Some kind of mix between her usual simplicity and a strong message. Jarvis didn't lie, this poem is also about having a weird hobby. Monika doesn't say a word. It looks like she liked the poem as well. Well, Natsuki, how can I say this? Oh no, if you're going to criticize me again. I'm kidding. I really like it. Actually, Tormi told me my poem was very similar to yours. She winces as I say his name. It's much longer than yesterday's, right? Yeah. See, I can use more words than you think. Indeed, doesn't it share some elements with Tormes' poem a little? Natsuki flinches once more. I'm pretty sure Monika's just testing Natsuki a little. I don't know if I should consider this funny or mean. No, you copy my style, but let's not talk about this, alright? Come on, you know I'm just teasing you. Anyway, why don't you show me your poem, Yuri? Since apparently ours are similar, let's see how you portray this subject. I hand her the poem and she takes it, almost ripping it. She's nervous, I can feel it. She reads my poem a few times. How? Pardon? How could you write about the same subject as me? What are the odds? Oh, that. I guess we're connected in some way. And about the poem itself, how was it? Well, you know, it feels a little unlike you. Unlike me? Don't tell me she actually understood the meaning of it. Monika couldn't even understand. What do you mean exactly? Well, Monika. Monika looked startled, but I don't think she was listening to us. Yes, what is it, Natsuki? I need your help. Something in this poem doesn't feel quite like Yuri, but I can't put my finger on it. Okay, what's going on here? No, we talked about it. I couldn't find the correct meaning. It mostly made me think of very dark things, honestly. Maybe this is what's bothering you. Yuri doesn't write about dark things usually. She doesn't. I thought that was sort of her thing. You're getting dangerously close to the main point of the poem. How am I supposed to justify myself? I don't know. I must have read a little too much before writing it. But what's important is that you enjoyed it, right? Of course. It's not my writing style, but it's well executed. Good job. Natsuki nods at me, and Monika looks in Tormes' direction. Looks like those two are done sharing their poems. Sharing time's over, then. Without a word, she stands up. Okay, everyone. And I think this is a good note to end on, because I'm just over an hour into this, and this is about to go into the bit where they're presenting to each other, and this next bit is the part where that even Dan Salvato thinks is boring. Like I hope Sukadeva spices it up in some way. But we'll see. We'll have to see next time, I guess. Yeah. So curious little cameo from Hanako from Kato Shoujo in there. I guess to play into the fact that Monika's still messing with the code. There's some. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm if I'm being totally honest, I'm not finding this mod terribly engaging. Sorry, that sounds harsh. It gets more interesting when they're diversions from the canon, but the bits where it's going over canon dialogue with bits of Yuri internal monologue, it's feeling a bit repetitive. It's just feeling like it's not adding a lot to it, which, I mean, you know, credit where it's due. This is an improvement on Rain Clouds, because you know, in Rain Clouds was very tedious. All of the canon scenes, it was just very clunky, and it felt like everything ground to a halt every time it came to one of those scenes. So I mean, this is an improvement on that, but I guess it doesn't feel like Yuri's story, you know? Like, it feels like those scenes feel like they're taking a break from Yuri's story, so we can remind the audience that, oh, this is still Doki Doki Literature Club, you know? I just feel like there's some missed opportunities to make this Yuri story and give her some agency. I mean, it's not. It's like, I'm not saying it's all bad or anything. It's like the diversion to talk to Hanako is kind of neat, even though it was just kind of out of nowhere and kind of random. It's a fun little diversion, and I liked the bit where she goes up to the bathroom to talk to Natsuki. But I don't know. I like the poem sharing. It just felt kind of bland. Like they're just making surface level comments about the poems, which I don't know. Yeah. I can't think how to comment on it without comparing it to my own mod, because not that I'm trying to hold up mine is so good, but I tried to find ways to relate the poem sharing to the characters and to the characters' development, to make them actually part of the story and not just I just didn't want it to be filler. That's what it is. It feels like filler. Like that the exchange between Yuri and Monica about the poem, it felt like filler. That's what it is. Just biding time until the actually interesting part. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I mean, from here, if we can get through the presenting poems part, which I hope, and honestly, I hope so, to find some way to spice that up. Then we'll be going into, let's see. Yeah, after that, Yuri's not involved for a bit, so hopefully that will give her more of an opportunity to go off and do her own thing and have her own story for a bit. So hopefully things will pick up in the next one. We'll see. But yeah, until next time.